Hi guys, Offbeat Breed Gaming here, otherwise known as OB or Oblivion Gate 109 as I'm known on PlayStation here. So what I'm here today to do is give you guys a brief tour of the third SkyVale map that we've had. It has to be very abbreviated. I attempted to make a full-on tour video, and that was almost an hour long. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to give a brief tour. For those of you who watch my stream channel of my AFK videos, this will look very familiar to you. Kind of boring. Pretty cool scenery, I suppose. So anyway, we're going to attempt to fly. I do have my wings equipped. I am really bad at this. I could never get the dang wings to activate. So let's see what happens. And of course it makes a liar out of me. Of course it does. And that's probably because it's not hooked up to be online right now. So, I'm just flying around here. You see the Great Pyramid here that was built. And coming up soon you'll see the SkyVale sign. So, what we've got here that I just flew over is the spawn pen. So what would happen is a new player would join, and if we didn't know them, they'd spawn here. There are rules here. It's a nice little decorated area. I'll land here momentarily to show you. And players would be forced to wait here until they messaged us. And they were pretty much told whether I found them on Facebook or if I found them on any forums anywhere. They were told they'd have to message us first. Reason we did this with the privileges inactive at first was to prevent any griefing, anybody getting on the world that shouldn't be on. I don't know why it's doing that, saying that I don't know what those blocks are. I'm pretty sure I placed that block. Anyway, yeah, and it was pretty effective that when we were able to do that. So, yeah, this area here that I'm running around here, this is the spawn island. And you got a couple farms here. This is, again, actually the actual spawn point. And we didn't think it was the best area to start the city, so we moved that city, and it's over there. So these are just some community farms, some community storage, yeah, some beginner materials over here, and loud horses apparently. So once a player would be granted access to the world, we'd give them their privileges, and they would be on their merry way. Their first stop would usually be the ice road. Simply, you would just click that button there, and it would dispense a boat, and you'd be off. But I'm not going to go that way today. I am going to try and find a high spot, and I'm going to jump off, and hopefully my wings activate. You guys will see. I'm not very good at this. Let's hope it makes a liar out of me again. Sweet, it did. Okay, so you can see the ice road's pretty big here. We'll just spit you into town, but I'll give you the, again, kind of abbreviated tour. So this big castle tower was made by Captain Feathersword, one of our moderators. It's a pretty massive build. He was pretty known for that, building gigantic things here. So going into the city, you have Central Park here. And I'm going to land on the outskirts over here. And this is the tower we jumped off in the beginning. This is SkyVale Tower. Again, my AFK spot. It also has a working iron farm up there. I'm not going to go into too many of the buildings in depth. I'll make other videos explaining those. But this has the iron farm in it. And we're doing pretty good on iron for a server. Let's see. Jump across here. You might recognize that building over there from SRN 101's videos. He was a very active member of the server. He made that awesome build there in that Guardian farm, and I will link his channel in the description. And this is the long part, not flying. So this area right here is known as the Founders Plaza. It's kind of a town square, if you will. This building here is mainly used for a barracks upstairs, a bunch of beds people can use, community center. Chests are filled with food and basic starter supplies. You're moving all the stuff from the first island that I showed you over by the spawn pen over to there, and to here. This building here, that's the SkyVale Pub and Brewery. This one I will go in because I like it. It's a pub. Thought I was getting kind of creative with it. Again, I'll go in depth in the buildings in another video. This over here is the community enchanter. And then I also have the community blacksmith. This has a industrial cobblestone generator in the basement, but this is the most convenient cobble generator. Just knock a couple of those out and they are collected here. You'll notice a lot of stone brick here, and that's how we got all the stone relatively quickly. This park is actually fairly new. I got wicked inspired one day and just started building this. And it's a way that I can have the founders remembered here. Even though it is my world, the idea was for it to be a community thing, not just a, hey, look what I did. This was the banner for one of the founders, Honorable Fool. He doesn't really get on much anymore. He's mainly, I think he's in college and pretty busy there. This one over here is the Overdose XP. Moving on. You have yours truly, Oblivion Gate 109. And you have the TARDIS flag for Delta Tesseract. You have SRN 101's flag here. And then last but certainly not least, you have the Bullet 100. All those players, for the most part, will jump on from time to time. The world, I'd say, is semi-active at this point. The PC version with all the updates are really, killing console Minecraft, in my opinion. So this building you'll see straight ahead is probably one of the most well-known buildings on the server. The Canadian Parliament building, built by SRN 101, who is Canadian. I pranked him a while back and put the American flag over the Canadian flag. Took a while for him to notice, only because nobody had gotten on for a while. I have to say, this is probably my favorite build on the entire map. And I'll let you check his video out on this. I'm just gonna go up and walk in, though, because he spent a long time on this, but at the same time, I was really impressed by how quickly he did build something of this scale. Never actually been on this side over here. I've never been to this building in real life. I don't think I've even been to the city in Canada. I've only been to Canada once. But no. If he says it's correct, then I trust him on that one. But still, either way, that's awesome. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump up in the sky again real quick. I always like to jump off of the high places, even though I know you can take off from the ground. And even though it sure looks like I know what I'm doing with these wings, I'm normally not very good at it. Going up, going up. So these towers here that you see, they were initially built by a player early on. He just never finished them. So I decided I was gonna repurpose them, and when we didn't have concrete back in the early days of the server, so We just built it with wood. Oh. Alright. Back in the air. We got this nice temple here, built by Delta. I'm gonna stop up on top here for a minute. This giant obsidian thing is a gold farm. Works pretty well. I'm gonna just sleep through the night real quick. Alright. Alright. So, I've showed you guys the park and the Founders Plaza. I'm gonna jump over to the other side of the city. And I apologize for being so scattered here. I'm trying to condense this tour as best I can. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the first one I did, it turned out to be an hour, and that's a long video, especially for my first one. So we'll start it off right about here. Alright, so the way this world worked, players would come in and they'd be required to build one house in the city. And there are 16 by 16 pre-made plots that we made for people. Sometimes you'll see things that are bigger, like this train station building here. That would connect up the various towns. There's only 2 in the world right now, with more being planned. So you'd have a 16 by 16 block to make, or chunk rather, to build your starter house. It didn't have to be, you know, anything super fancy, but, you know, obviously we were trying to build a community project here, so the nicer the better. I'm just coming over here in this relatively barren area to show you guys. This is about what it looks like. And then we got looks like someone actually claimed this one. But, you know, you got some plots that, you know, vacant sign in it. You just take it, plop it back down, put your name on it, it's yours. There's a couple over here. Let's see, whose was this? Corny looks. Yep. So, and what this allowed us to do from the moderating standpoint was to, one, make sure that the new player coming in wasn't a griefer or anything crazy like that. And it also helped to see, you know, if the player was, you know, willing to be part of the community. Like I said, this was a community project, community world. It's not all about what one person can do. It's about what we all can build together. And I have to say, I think we made something pretty cool here. And you'll see various farms. There's the tree farm here. And let me run to the front here of this cathedral. I'm in a courtyard. Can I even get through this way? Yes, I can. Alright. So, this building here, also built by SRN. This is the Riverdale Memorial Cathedral. It's called that because our first world, SkyVale 1, we had 3 cities, one of which was named Riverdale. And Riverdale was the upscale city where everyone built mansions, and there was a massive cathedral that was easily double, I'd almost say triple the size of this. And this is by no means a small build. And, you know, we made the decision to switch worlds because that had the host privileges enabled. This world does not, so if I wanted to get an achievement here, I could. I wanted to leave that open to everybody. So yeah, I think he did a pretty fantastic job on that. That's my personal house over there. And these are just some player houses over here. And this building here was a temporary housing building. So the idea was you would come over to the city, you wouldn't have a place to live, needed to establish yourself. Well, for a small fee, you could rent a room from the SkyVale building department. And the building department headquarters is right here. The idea behind the building department was when basically for the organization to, plan and develop the city. It was made up of a couple moderators and a couple non-moderators that, wanted to take a little more active role in the running of the server, and we really encouraged that. We really liked it. So basically, when a player would go inactive and they would leave their house, we would make a determination. Well, first, we'd obviously try to contact them, see if they wanted to keep playing, and if they said no or never answered us, we'd make a determination if we wanted to keep their house or not. And if we decided not to, we would demolish it. We'd all vote on it, of course, and we would demolish it. And we would, rather than take the parts or the resources and keep them for ourselves, we stored them here. These are all of this random stuff from various places. We would store them here and use them for community projects. So it all came back to the community here. There's, if you haven't noticed, there's a bit of a recurring theme there. There's lots of stuff in here now. There's plenty of stuff here. And we would pretty much, we would vote on what to do with it. If there was community project we all wanted to do, like the train station, or I did use some of the building department's resources to build the park over here. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat thing that we did here. I only ever played on one server before that, and they didn't have anything quite like that. It was a great server. And I actually, when that host stopped playing, a lot of the community came over with me, and that's the reason I actually started hosting. But his server didn't have anything quite like that. All the houses stayed, no matter what they looked like. Anyway, this building here is the PvP arena for the server. SRN built it and designed it, and he has a video there, so I'll let you guys go over to his channel and check that out for the in-depth look there. Let's see, two more things I can show you guys for the video, and then I'll do a quick fly around for you. And then, alright, that'll be it. So this here's the train station. As I said, it connects up a couple of things. Alright. So, as I said, the plan here was to make multiple cities. And this was the easiest way to have a rail line that connected them all. So, as of right now, it only goes to one spot, and that's the end. You press that button there, and you heard the tracks moving, and now that will take you to the end. Again, the idea, you click these, it'll move the tracks, it'll tell you which one it's on, and then if you want to reset them all and remove it all, click that. You'd hit that button there, minecart will pop up. And now I'm just going to ride it through. It's not going to take me anywhere, really. It's going to take me around. You got a little look at the redstone back there. There's only one path that, it'll take you out to the end, which is, I think, 2 or 3 maps away. Anyway, that's the train station here. And this water tower over here is actually a hostile mob spawner. Not so bad in there. Having the creeper drops are really great. We even though I'm not very good at flying, when it's connected to the internet anyway and it's online, I'm not very good at it. The wings don't want to open often, but I do like to fly around a lot. So in here, this is the city hall. This is one of the original builds on the server, one of the very first. And here's the rule board, same as it's over in the spawn pen, just a reminder to people if anyone didn't feel like walking over there to read them. And we have the moderator list. That way, if a player was ever having an issue, they knew exactly who to contact. We like to be really open to everybody and really helpful to people. If they ever had a concern, they could definitely say something to one of us, and we'd address it. This is the world map, so you'll see it's not complete, and you would think a world like this, it would be. Well, this world was created about 3 or 4 months before the aquatic update. And we heard about it and wanted to make sure that we had all the new features. So what we decided to do was not explore. And some people didn't quite get that memo, and a lot of places got explored that shouldn't have been. But enough of it didn't, so we still were able to get a lot of the stuff. Not in the main couple maps, but that's all right. And as you can see right there, that's where we are. We are in that building. And that's the spawn island there. And then you got SRN's Guardian Farm out there. And the second town is way down here. And I'll do a separate video on that. There's only 2 levels to this that have anything on them. So this is a very old thing, the community improvement donation chest. So we were, oh, it looks like somebody actually made some donations. That's new. Yeah, at the, you know, in the earlier days of the server, we were looking for some community help for some stuff, a couple of us, and we put that up there. And at the time, this was the biggest build on the map. Times have definitely changed. I'm just gonna toss down my bed and fast forward to daytime. Alrighty. And now we're gonna take to the skies, and I'm gonna give you guys a nice turnaround view and of how big the city is, and